What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Benjamin Gibby here, back with a brand new exciting video here on the Grid Meat channel. Today I'm going to be going over what you should expect from a $1,000 MAACO paint job. This is my 1992 Mazda Miata. I had it painted about 6 months ago, and we're just going to go over some of the mistakes they made, some of the mistakes I made, and just in overall how it looks. But if you guys are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. Later this year, I will do what 1 year of my MAACO paint job looks like, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that video. So first off, we're going to go over what I did to the car before I sent it to MAACO. So the whole car was in pretty bad condition. There was peeling clear coat, and I had to sand that all down. So I started with a pretty low grit sandpaper just to get all that extra paint, all that clear coat off. After I got that off with some pretty low grit, I moved on to a higher grit so you wouldn't see that much scratching in the paint. I did that a couple times until I thought it was good. So I watched a YouTube video on how to do that, and I stopped when I thought it was good enough. And then I wiped the whole car down with isopropyl rubbing alcohol just to get any paint dust off, because I didn't want to send the car to MAACO with any paint dust off. I wanted the paint to lay pretty nice, as well as the clear coat to lay pretty nice. So I sent the whole car sanded and prepped, ready to be painted. And that was my first mistake. The labor cost for MAACO is super low because they have a team working on a car, so it's only like $200 to have them sand the car. It might be more depending on where you live, but it's super cheap. And I ended up spending, I think, 6 hours in total just working on the prep work. It was exhausting. There was paint dust everywhere in my garage. It stained my clothes. It was terrible. I would just have them do all the prep work. You might save a little bit of money, and if you have more time than money, maybe that's the way you should go. But honestly, I think it would be more beneficial if you just have them do all the prep work. It's so much easier. They know what they're doing. And also, if there's any scratches in the paint, then you know it is their fault and not your own. So I drove the car over there and I got the standard package. Later in this video, I'll go into how much that cost, but the standard package is just the base coat as well as the clear coat. The basic package is just the base coat. There's no clear coat. And then the premium package is a couple layers of the base coat and then a couple layers of the clear coat, and they buff it and they make it look really nice. So the standard package is what I got. Unfortunately, there was not a sale, so at the end of the video, I'll go over how much I paid for it. So I took the car in, and he gave me a quote of how much the car would cost to be painted. He was like, okay, your car will be ready in probably about a week. I will text you. So 3 days later, I got the text, and they said that my car was ready, and I was shocked because I didn't expect my car to be ready that fast. So we drove over, picked up the car, and we got the car, and I was like, this looks great. Here's the money. Then we got home. So going into this, I knew that it wouldn't be the best paint job, as it's MAACO, and they have a decent standard, but it's not anything that you're not paying for the quality of work that you would get at a local auto body shop. So I knew I wasn't gonna get anything like super amazing. I knew I wasn't gonna get a Mercedes if I was paying for a Toyota, so I kind of expected there to be some flaws. I heard about overspray. I did not take anything out of the car. I did not mask anything up before they got the car, and so when I got the car back, there was some overspray. There was some overspray on the windows. There was some overspray on some of the trim. Some of the trim I actually had to take off, and the paint is still on my windows because I don't know how to get that off. But there was some overspray. I was okay with that. I was like, I didn't mask anything off, you know, it's okay. It's what you expect. Then I noticed some scratches in the paint, and I have a video of after I got the car, and there was just some tiny little scratches that you could kind of see through the paint on the hood, especially. Everywhere else it looked fine except for the mirrors, which I did a terrible prep job on. So part of the flaw was actually my prep job, and considering it probably wasn't the best, it did make sense to see some flaws in the paint. And I believe that everything, all the scratches that were on my hood were my own fault. Probably because I didn't go over a high enough grit sandpaper on that part. So the car looked amazing after that. I was super happy with the work that they did. Surprised it turned out that good considering the horror stories I've heard from MAACO. So I was pretty happy, even with some scratches on the hood and some scratches in other places. I thought it looked really good. Obviously, there is orange peel. I don't think they buffed it out or anything, so that's kind of expected. I'm okay with orange peel, or this is literally a $3,600 car, so I'm not expecting the best paint job in the world. So I got the car back, I got my receipt, and now I'm gonna go over the price. So in overall paint alone, the paint costed $1,200 with tax. The parts that they needed for this paint, I think it's like waste removal or something like that, was $50. And then their hazardous waste removal was $25. With a $29 sales tax, I ended up paying $1,300 for this paint job. It's kind of a lot considering it's 1/3 of the car's value, but I'm pretty happy with the work that they did. And if you're thinking about getting a paint job from MAACO, I would go for it. If you're okay with spending $1,000 to $1,500 for a standard decent paint job that will hopefully last you a while, I would go for it. In the end, it's gonna look better than what you would do with a rattle can. If you have a nicer car, however, I think I would save up a little bit more money and go to an auto body shop that's maybe a little bit more reputable. I would be okay spending more money if I had a nicer car. However, as I said before, if you have something like a Honda Civic that has no value whatsoever and you need a paint job to make it look nice, I would go with MAACO. This was a $3,600 car. I spent $1,300 in total on the paint, and I'm okay with that because, in my opinion, it looks great for what I paid. If you went to a local auto body shop, for this work, you'd probably expect to pay about $3,000, but the results would be a little bit nicer. So that is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed this video or if it brought you value, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my 1-year overview of what a MAACO paint job looks like. I will see you guys in the next one.